So has this ever happened to you? Maybe you're sitting on the couch with your elderly father and he reaches over and puts his hand on your thigh. Or maybe you're trying to help him change his clothes and he reaches over and tries to grab your breast. Or when you're walking by, he pats you on the butt. What the heck is going on, and how are you supposed to respond when your elderly father with dementia is being sexually inappropriate? Hi there, I'm Sophia. Welcome to another video. I make videos every week to help you be a more satisfied, more successful, and more informed family caregiver because I want the very best outcomes for both you and your elderly parent. So when your elderly father who suffers from dementia is sexually inappropriate, it can just totally throw you for a loop. You are totally surprised, you're taken off guard, and your very first instinct is to overreact. Well, I don't know about you, but I just might want to jump up and yell, "Stop that! What the heck are you doing? I can't believe you did that!" Sexually inappropriate behavior in our older parents is really challenging. It can be embarrassing and really uncomfortable. And you might not even want to tell anybody that it's happening because way in the back of your mind, you just might have a doubt that maybe you did something wrong that caused this. Well, I can tell you, you didn't do anything wrong. This is nothing to do with you, and it has everything to do with your father. Usually it's our fathers, not our mothers, that have this behavior, but it has everything to do with them and nothing to do with you. You didn't do anything wrong, but there are some ways that you can deal with it, so I'm going to try to help you with that today. But let's start with what might be going on with your dad. You can't assume that just because dad's old that he doesn't still have feelings of sexuality and intimacy. With dementia comes disinhibition, an inability to filter their thoughts and emotions, and an inability to really know sometimes what's right from wrong. But it's not their fault. It is their disease process that's affecting his behavior. And he really doesn't have an ability to know the difference between, you shouldn't brush your hair with a fork or you shouldn't touch your daughter on the bottom. There isn't an ability to filter this kind of thinking. Try to remember that these behaviors in your father might be indicating that he's lonely or bored. So try to keep him socialized, active, around other people, and engaged in other appropriate activities. One of the other things that might be going on with dad is that because of his dementia, when he looks at you, he might not recognize you as his daughter. He might think that you look like his wife and what she looked like years ago because there's a resemblance there. And he also might forget that he's an old man. He might in his mind believe that he is a young man and you're a young woman and that this is appropriate. And don't forget, a spade is not always a spade. Sometimes these behaviors might mean something totally non-sexual. For instance, if dad is taking off his clothes, maybe that means he needs to go to the bathroom or he's hot. So don't forget to assess for these things. So now you know what might be behind some of this behavior, but what are you supposed to do about it when it does happen? The first thing to remember is, even though it's your automatic first response, is don't overreact. Don't say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that, Dad," and don't shame him. Do your best not to make him feel bad about what he did or to shame him. If you happen to overreact and yell at him, it might shock him and leave him bewildered, like, what did I do wrong? What you could do instead, definitely try to remain calm with a very firm voice and say, "That's not appropriate," or "I don't like that," or "That makes me feel uncomfortable," and gently move their hand away. And you might have to do this over and over and repeat yourself because the fact that your dad has dementia, he may forget that you just told him that's inappropriate 2 minutes ago or 1 minute ago, and he might get in a loop. So it's really important to try to remember to be calm and firm as if it's the first time every time. So after you've given a clear, firm message, it's time to try to distract them with another activity. Maybe it's lunchtime, time to go for a walk, or ask them to help you with a chore. I know this is really hard, but keep your boundaries. Know that you didn't cause this. Know that it is their dementia and should be treated like all of their other difficult dementia behaviors. If you happen to walk in on a situation where dad is masturbating, it's so uncomfortable, but try not to overreact. Try not to make them feel bad or that it's wrong or that they should be embarrassed about it. Instead, in a calm, firm voice, you can just say, "That's not appropriate," in the living room, and guide him to a place where he can be alone. We might have to get over our own discomfort with the situation, but what's not okay in the kitchen is okay in the privacy of dad's room. So are there any things that we can do to try to prevent the situation and reduce the inappropriate behavior? Absolutely. If you, as a family caregiver, are doing some of the intimate caregiving tasks like bathing or helping dad change clothes, these things might trigger the behaviors. So while you're doing these activities, knowing that it might come, then have a plan ahead of time to distract dad. Talk about old vacations or other people. And if it is something that you're finding isn't being alleviated and there's no way that you can help distract him from his behaviors, then you might really want to consider getting a male caregiver just for these tasks. I am absolutely not saying that you're doing anything wrong or you're to blame, but just be conscious of maybe the clothes that you wear. Are they a little low cut, even though that's normal for you, or are they a little tight? These things might be triggers for your dad's inappropriate behavior. And even if you're a family caregiver, if you're the daughter, maybe you want to consider wearing scrubs because that symbolizes professionalism. And be aware that just being close might trigger the behavior. So just be conscientious of, when you're reaching across and things, that just be aware of your physical being and location so that you're not unintentionally triggering any behavior. And be aware that dad might really still have a legitimate need for intimacy and closeness. And if it's not appropriate for that to be had by you, then maybe consider a pet, a cat or a dog or a stuffed animal or a baby doll that he can comfort and have some connection with. As an aside, just in case I have to put it out there, do be conscientious if there are children in the home, that they're not left unattended with your dad. And if all else fails, you could also talk to your dad's doctor to see if maybe this increase in libido could be a side effect of one of his medications. And if you've done everything that I suggest here in this video and things still aren't helping, maybe the doctor could prescribe a medication to reduce his libido. But everything else should be tried first. Is this a totally hard situation? Yes. Can you handle this situation? Yes, you absolutely can. I know you can. Treat it like all other difficult dementia behaviors, and I know there's a lot of them, but you're going to be ahead of the situation if you remember to practice them. If this information was helpful, then go ahead and leave a comment and give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any other new videos on everything senior related. I appreciate you stopping by today. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.